Good afternoon. The court case that I decided to look at this week for the case study was Hill versus National Collegiate Athletic Association in 1994. This is a court case that is primarily being adopted or argued in the state of California. Jennifer Hill and other athletes for the Stanford University, were suing the NCAA in violation of their privacy because of the drug testing program that the NCAA initiated in trying to prevent athletes from participating in illegal drug use, and felt that their rights to privacy were being violated because of their forcing of the urinalysis and random drug selection of the participants based on the drug program. A little bit of background here on the court case itself. Of course, this is taking place in the state of California by the idea that athletes and the Board of Regents for Stanford University are suing the NCAA. They are stating that that Article 1, Section 1 of the California State Constitution, the right to privacy initiative, was being violated based on this program developed by the NCAA. In 1973, the NCAA decided that they were going to take a look at trying to prevent these college athletes from using recreational drugs or performance-enhancing drugs such as steroids or other amphetamines or anything along those lines. In 1973, they established a rule stating that any student who was found guilty of using these banned substances would be ineligible for a certain amount of time. In January of 1984, member schools of the NCAA Pacific 10 Conference, including Stanford University, came together and had proposed a resolution to enact a drug testing program through the NCAA. Then later on, in 1985, at the NCAA National Convention, the drug testing program committee came together to present their findings and present their information to the member schools. It was put on a revision, and the next year, 1986, the same committee met again at the National Convention and proposed a second review of the drug testing program, which was passed by the member schools of the NCAA. And even to today, the amendments to the drug testing program are helping to increase it, develop it better, and make it better for the both NCAA and the athletes that are participating. Let's see here. Now, regarding this drug testing program based on the NCAA's drug testing program, the student athlete is forced to, or not forced, but is required to sign a three-part statement and consent form. Part 1 affirms the signature meets NCAA eligibility regulations and that he or she has duly reported any known violations of those regulations. Part 2 authorizes limited disclosure of the results of the drug test under the Federal Education Rights and Privacy Act, or FERPA, that was established in 1974, excuse me. And Part 3 is then a drug testing consent policy stating that the participant understands that it is a random drug test, that a urinalysis screening is to be done, that the information that is presented by the findings will only be delivered to certain individuals because of the FERPA regulations that are being enacted through the consent form. So about the actual case itself, the arguments of the plaintiffs, they felt that the drug testing program was a violation of their rights of privacy under the California State Constitution, Article 1, Section 1, which reads, I quote, "All people are by nature free and independent and have inalienable rights. Among these are enjoying and defending life and liberty, acquiring, possessing, and protecting property, and pursuing and obtaining safety, happiness, and privacy." Now, that privacy initiative that was established in the late 1970s by the California state legislature, that is what the plaintiffs are arguing. They felt that they're forcing to give urine samples in front of an observer, and the program itself was in violation of their Privacy Act, or their privacy rights. In fact, Stanford University came together with the plaintiffs, Hill and others, in arguing that the NCAA drug testing program was a violation of their rights of privacy. Kind of a change of their tune here from 1970, 1984, when Stanford, among the Pac-10 schools, decided to ask for a drug testing program by the NCAA. The defendants' arguments, the NCAA, argued that they are a private entity, that they are a private company and should not be subjected to this constitutional right of privacy, that the drug testing program was developed and intended to reduce the consumption of these banned substances, to promote the health and well-being of the athletes, and to keep the games as fair and as evenly as fair as possible among competition. The court's decision, the trial court in the state of California had ruled that the NCAA's drug testing program was a violation of the privacy initiative developed by Article 1, Section 1 of the California State Legislature, and ruled in favor of the Stanford University student athletes, and required that the NCAA does not promote their drug testing policy in California because of this violation of the rights of privacy. The NCAA appealed the court's decision, and the appellate court in California actually sided again with Stanford University and the athletes, and then the NCAA appealed the ruling again and took it all the way to the California Supreme Court, where the California Supreme Court decided that it was not a violation of the Privacy Act written by the state constitution, and in fact the NCAA is a private organization and should not be subjected to this privacy initiative. The idea that the information that was presented to the trial court in regards to the Stanford University student athletes was not credible. They used the idea that more students on the campus are using drugs than the student athletes, and that there is not an actual significant number of student athletes being caught using performance-enhancing drugs or any other banned substance. Because of this, the California Supreme Court reversed the decision and found in favor of the NCAA the drug testing program, and made it to where it was not a violation of the rights of those student athletes, and really opened up a lot of other court cases down the road in terms of privacy restrictions or rights of privacy, and how this drug testing program affects the rights of the student athlete. This really makes a big problem, or develops into a more interesting issue when we get into types of high school student athletes who are being drug tested randomly, and how they are being dealt with, or what the state is dealing with. I feel that the Supreme Court, the California Supreme Court, got this decision right. I mean, the NCAA is there to help protect the student athletes and promote the well-being of their participants, and to develop a system that is fair and equal among all of those student athletes participating in sports. Also, there is nothing stated in the drug testing program by the NCAA that the student athlete must have this sample given in front of an observer. It says that it actually can be opted out to give this sample in front of an observer. So the idea of violation of the privacy rights is not there, based on the evidence that is presented in these court cases, and also the evidence that is the information that is presented by the NCAA, their drug testing program, and what has developed out of this court case, and the increased changes to the NCAA's drug testing program from obviously its creation in 1986 through the court case in 1994, and then eventually to today, in developing better techniques, more secure techniques of trying to just be more aware and developing this better process of finding banned substances in the NCAA's student athletes, and also promoting that fairness and equality among all student athletes. Thank you very much.